Hey y'all, what's up? My name is Avery, and today I will be telling y'all all about all the books that I read in June. So I know it's a little bit late into July right now, but you know what? We're not gonna think about that right now because this is the only time that I've had to film the past week or so. So I'm just gonna do it now. So in total, I read 4 books in the month of June. I know that is quite small compared to, say, my April wrap-up, which was 16. So yeah, I haven't really been reading all that much as I usually do because of work. I work either 5 or 9 hours a day, depending on the day of the week. So yeah, it's kind of hard to find time to fit in to read a book. That's why only 2 of these books are physical books. One of them was an audiobook and the other one was an ebook. I also want to say that I rated like all 4 books like really high. So I had a pretty good reading month based on ratings. Anyways, I don't want to bore y'all with all the details, so let's just get started. The first book that I read in June was Heart of the Fae by Emma Ham. So this is a Beauty and the Beast meets Irish mythology. Once upon a time, a plague sweeps across the Emerald Hills of Uneal, leaving a young midwife's father with only months to live. So for Sorsha to save her father and her people, she makes a deal with a dangerous fae. She must travel across the sea and foreign lands to find a forgotten king on a crumbling throne. Born king of the Seelie Fae, Aemon fought battles unnumbered to uphold his duty, honor, and freedom, until his twin brother sinks a blade between his shoulders. And from there, crystals grew from the wound, splitting open skin and bone. And his people banished him because of this disfigurement. So he is now the king of criminals and fools who have also been cast out onto this island, which he now rules. So then Sorcha also tries to break through his crystallized shell and evidently try and get him to claim back his throne. Okay, I just want to start by saying this is probably the best Beauty and the Beast retelling that I have ever read. I am confidently saying that. So if any of y'all out there are looking for a Beauty and the Beast retelling, hit this one up. I'd recommend it also if you're into really good fantasy, because this is a great fantasy book. And the reason why I don't have it physically is because this was the book that I listened to on audio, and the audiobook was fantastic, amazing. The narrator has an Irish accent, so like it just makes it even more authentic because Sorcha. See, okay, also I'm confused about her name because it's spelled the same way that Sorsha's name is spelled in, I think, Heir of Fire of Throne of Glass. I'm not sure, but it's spelled the same exact way as her name. But in the audiobook it's pronounced Sorcha, but in Throne of Glass it's pronounced Sorsha. So I don't know how to pronounce her name, I'm sorry. But going off the audiobook, it's Sorcha. I'm just going with Sorcha. But I absolutely love these 2 main characters, especially together. I'm really sad that there's not going to be more books about them. Like, there is a second book, but that's another book that I read this month, so I will get to that. But like, after the second book, there's not another book about them, which I'm sad about because I would love to read more about them. Sorcha obviously grew so much with realizing who she truly is, and with the help of Aemon, but not specifically just him. She didn't learn who she was because of a man. She grew into who she was because of the place that she was in and the people she was surrounded with. So the man did have a partial point in it, but it was not the main point of the story, which was fantastic. And Aemon, I love him a lot. He's like a perfect like beast, you know what I mean? Like, he obviously cares for these people, but he also knows that because he's so disfigured that no one can really like love him, you know what I mean? So we get that beast aspect into it. Also, it's like Beauty and the Beast, obviously a retelling, but it's not like to the T, which I love to the T retellings, but this one was also really cool because it wasn't to the T. It was like had a little twist at the end, so I really liked that. So yeah, I gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars, obviously. And that leads me into another book that I read in June, which was Vines of Magic by Emma Ham, which was the second book in the Otherworld series. She also has other books in this series, by the way, but the other ones aren't about Aemon and Sorcha, so I haven't read those yet because I don't know if I want to leave my babies, you know what I mean? But anyway, yeah, this is just a continuation of Sorcha and Aemon's story, and I don't want to go into details because obviously spoilers, but yeah, I really enjoyed this one too, and I'm sad that their story together is over. Like, there's no more books about them, which is sad. But yeah, I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. The next book that I read was a physical book, and that is Beautiful Bastard by Christina Lauren. Very smart and hardworking Chloe Mills only has one problem with her job, her boss, whose name is Bennett Ryan. He's blunt, inconsiderate, and completely irresistible, which is why she calls him a beautiful bastard. Bennett has returned to Chicago from France to take a role in his family multi-million-dollar media industry. He never expected that his new assistant would be the infuriating yet irresistible Chloe. And it hurts him even more because he has to see her every day, which is infuriating to him. But despite the rumors, he's never been one for a workplace hookup. But Chloe is so tempting that he's willing to bend the rules. As their appetite and attraction for each other increases, Chloe and Bennett must decide what exactly they're willing to lose in order to win. So yeah, I read this book in June. I saw it at my local Barnes & Noble. It was in one of my hauls a couple of videos ago, but I saw it and I was like, you know what? This is like pretty famous in like the romance slash smutty department of BookTube, just books in general. So I had to pick it up and see what all of it was about. I will say there's a lot of smuttiness in this book. If you're looking for a smut book, this is your book to go. Literally like all of these tabbies is a smut scene. I'm not kidding you. And yeah, that's one right there on like page like 10. I think my only critique is that there's like a little bit maybe too much smut for me. I'm okay with like 5, 6 scenes in a book, you know what I mean? But there's like over 10. But anyways, they kind of like do like, I don't want to say like get to know each other better. They like connect through their smutty scenes. So I don't want to say like don't trash them because they kind of like grow together through them. Relationship obviously starts off completely physical and then they grow an attraction to each other. And what I do enjoy about this book is that the billionaire or like a rich dude, the boss in this situation, who's like labeled as a womanizer or like a man whore or something like that, doesn't like flip a switch automatically to be with the woman because he just wants to be. Like a bunch of books are just like, oh, I suddenly met this girl and all of a sudden I want to change my life. Like, no, this dude has some like problems with trying to change his lifestyle. Like, he obviously wants to become a better person in the end and make Chloe happy, but he has a really hard time even coming to the grips with him falling for her or having feelings for her at all other than sexual. So it was interesting to see that side of a boss or billionaire situation where they don't immediately think like, oh my god, I met the love of my life, I'm immediately gonna just stop being a stupid, horrible person. Like, it takes time for him to do that, and it's obviously difficult. Overall, I enjoyed this book, so I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. And the last book that I read in June was Brightly Burning by Alexa Dawn. Stella Ainsley leaves a life of poverty behind her as she becomes the new governess to a private spaceship called the Rochester. But no one told her before she ended up going to the Rochester that this spaceship is actually kind of haunted. And this haunted spaceship could evidently also disrupt the whole entire galaxy slash universe. But on this ship, Stella finds her equal in the brooding yet interesting Hugo, who is the 19-year-old captain of the Rochester. After several attempts on his life spark more questions than answered, Bianca Ingram, and longtime friend of Hugo, ends up on the ship one day, which causes even more mystery and more confusion with Stella. And so without knowing who to trust, Stella must decide whether she will follow her head or her heart. So this is a Jane Eyre retelling in space. This was one of my most anticipated reads of 2018. And I just want to say I loved it. I love Jane Eyre so much. So when this book was released or like talked about being released, like I was so excited because I love Jane Eyre so much, and I just want to say I thought this was a great representation of it. And I know a lot of people went into this book without actually knowing the story, like the full story, like not reading Jane Eyre. So I think a bunch of those people maybe like dock stars, but like I truly loved it because I've read Jane Eyre and I appreciate it because I read Jane Eyre and I just love this story so much. And Hugo slash Mr. Rochester is like the love of my life, but obviously Hugo is not Mr. Rochester because no one will top Mr. Rochester except for maybe Mr. Darcy. I love Stella, by the way. I love her a lot. I love how her dream dream was to teach people. Like, that's what I want to do with my life, so I thought it was amazing to just read about a main character who wanted the same thing. Like, her overall goal was not to become, say, a governess. It was to teach people, but she ended up just getting a governess position, which was fine with her. Like, she was teaching someone. It wasn't like a bunch of people, but it was still one person. But anyways, I'm thinking about maybe filming a review for this book. Let me know down below if you are interested. So yeah, I love this one, and I obviously gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. So there y'all have it. Those were all 4 books that I read in June. I know it was kind of a small list, but you know what? I've been busy, and they were all really high rated, so I'm kind of proud of myself for that. But anyways, again, let me know down below if you are wanting to see a Brightly Burning review, because I have all my notes written down, but I just haven't filmed anything because I don't know if I want to yet, or if y'all want to see that yet. So just let me know down below. Also, let me know down below if you've read any of these books, because I would love to know, and maybe start up a conversation with you about them in the comments down below. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all soon with a new video. Bye.